Now, the significance of learning these different lot conditions is important because everyone has a different strategy dependent on their own capabilities and circumstances. And the cool thing about land development is that there are multiple lot conditions in which you can buy or sell property. This gives you more options to choose from for your own exit strategy. For example, some developers can do the underground construction, but they don't want to deal with showing or selling houses to potential home buyers. Others may have a knack for navigating local jurisdiction and receiving plan approvals and the green light to build while not actually doing any construction themselves. And others just want to build houses to sell right away without the headaches of waiting for the underground development. So when it comes to purchasing land for development, there are a few different conditions you can buy or sell it as. The first one being raw land or entitled, blue top lots, or finished lots. And the fifth is broken projects. So let's talk about the first one, raw land. With raw land, this is property that hasn't been touched as far as construction improvements go, so you'll be starting from the very beginning. And it will most likely contain much of its natural topography, so depending on if it's flat or not, or has a lot of hills, you may be doing a lot of grading. Also, be sure to pay attention to natural ponds or other bodies of water, or anything that may look like a home for natural wildlife, because you'll most likely have to address this. Okay, next up is entitled property. In this condition, there may not be any physical improvements done as far as construction goes, but typically all the planning and approvals up front have been completed. This includes your site map, any reports, and maybe even a lot of your construction documents, etc. And similar to the finished lot condition, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit, entitled property can also be extremely valuable, especially in some very bureaucratic states such as California, where planning could take a long time, even a couple years. If you can get the green light to build from local jurisdictions, you've saved a buyer a lot of money, energy, and time. Next up is blue top lots. Now, in this condition, the pads are already graded, including the street gut section. This term comes from the blue whiskers or blue ribbon in the ground that tells graders where the finished grade elevation is, just like the picture here shown on the right. The underground utilities will still need to be installed and then the street paved afterwards. Next up is the finished lot conditions. In this condition, not only are the pads graded, but the utilities are also installed and the streets are paved. Now, finished lot properties can be considered a real hot commodity because home builders can hit the ground running with building houses almost immediately. And when they're building homes, they can start marketing and selling right away. So this is very, very valuable for their business model. Now, don't forget, there's one more. Broken projects. Here, the infrastructure is in disrepair and or it's incomplete. So it's literally a broken job. For some reason or another, usually involving financing or the market takes a turn for the worse, etc., the project cannot be completed and subs just pack up and leave. Now, over time, that infrastructure just gets buried away and sometimes even falls apart. So take a look at this photo on the right. This was a project that started way back around in 2007-ish, and the developer was right in the middle of paving streets and trenching for the dry utilities and the parkways before they had to walk away. And since this stuff doesn't get completed, it doesn't get bought off by the utility companies. Therefore, it becomes very difficult for new developers to see what truly needs to be done years later. So remember, be prepared to roll your sleeves up and do a lot of work to research what needs to be done in order to catch everything. Now here's another picture of the same broken project. This is an electrical vault that got placed and was never touched or backfilled. In this project, there were many other vaults and catch basins that ended up just becoming a place for the homeless and kids to hang out. Here's another picture of another broken project that was started right before the crash. It's a little hard to see, but there's a riser coming out of the ground from the sewer line and it was just left above ground and never touched again. It was another mess to go through and figure out what exactly was installed below ground and what condition everything was in.